I would like to call to order the Wilmette District Committee of the Whole meeting for May 18th, 2026 at 6:33. May I have a roll call, please?
Yes. Commissioner Duffy.
Present.
Commissioner Clark.
Here.
Commissioner Adrian Oakley.
Here.
Commissioner Goble.
Here.
Al Corn.
Thank you. Okay, the first item on the agenda is correspondence and communications. Any to add beyond what's in the packet? Okay. And we will move on to public comment and recognition of visitors. If you plan to address the board tonight, we ask that you please come up to the front of the room. You're just here, it would be terrific. Each speaker will have up to 3 minutes. We will notify you when you have 1 minute remaining. And when you go out of time by holding up a sign or a purple cue. Everything said during the meeting is recorded, and this device is our owl that records it. It will be added to the YouTube channel where the rest of the meeting recordings are. And full policy for public comment is in your packet. And as a reminder, we're a community of neighbors, so please be courteous. Does anyone want to address us? I see one name, Walter.
I saw this thing about the trees, and I would hope, I mean, I saw that it's nothing major tonight, but in June, I mean, when this thing is done, I think you guys should make a big deal about it. I mean, it should be some email to the community, et cetera. I mean, that sounds like, I mean, maybe it's not, but it seems to me it's a pretty impressive thing to have accomplished. So I would vote for, get some credit for doing it. Beautiful.
That's nice. Thank you. Any other people who would like to address? Okay, then we'll move on and close public comment. Let's move ahead to 5.0, which is new business. We'll start with the April 2026 financial update.
Hi, so the exercise in determining what the variances to explain the variances for budget and actuals through April has not been done yet. With the committee of the whole moving up a week and me being down a person since January, it's just, this is too tight of a window for us to have all of that detail ready for the committee of the whole, as it has been our commitment to have that done by the committee of the whole meeting. We just aren't able to do it when there's a week been taken off in the processing. Of course, I can talk about property taxes, but I'll have an expanded memo ready for the board meeting. We'll talk about it at the finance cow or at the board meeting in June.
Thank you. I know when I talk with finance partners, the close of the month is always tricky. Is there a date that's typically better, right? Is it like the 24th is more convenient? I know this one was a meeting that was moved because of the holiday, but just for guidance.
We would be able to hit a committee of the whole meeting that's on the fourth Monday. And we have traditionally done that. This, with it moving up a week, and not having any help to push that over the finish line. We're just not able to do it.
Thank you. Yeah.
It's just an exercise of when the books close, getting everything put together, and then send it out to all the staff, and then have staff input what their variance is just, tough.
While they're trying to get ready for summer, this is like this has just been very very delicate month.
Thank you. And then revenue and expense statement in the packet.
Yeah.
Accurate to April 30th to our knowledge.
As best as I can tell, we'll see what comes out of the budget variance discussions, but
Okay.
Normally I would not expect it to change much further.
Great. Anything we should cover for capital or?
Capital, again, gonna be going through that exercise and
Okay.
reach out to everybody, to find out what's going on. Some of it has cleared though. We're paying invoices in May, so we're talking about how we're gonna budget capital a little more accurately next year. So I had a discussion with one of the GMs who had said, when I tell you that we're gonna finish the project in February, it might mean that we're not paying the invoice until May. So that's what we're gonna be kind of shooting for. To make sure that when it hits the books, so.
Sense. Anything for Sheila? Any questions? No. Thank you.
It's really easy to do.
Thank you. Break it in easily. Let's go to 5.2, pool free season. Come on up, Mike.
Thanks.
Awesome. For today. See if it's good. Right into it. Welcome to our Centennial Family Aquatic Center, an aquatic destination for all ages. One of our big pushes this year is 100% focused on safety and fun. An aquatic Centennial Family Aquatic Center is on track for a successful 2026 summer season. Preseason efforts have focused on staffing, facility readiness, and safety compliance. Early indicators suggest strong community engagement and steady operational preparedness. Meet the team. Mike Jarrett, the new general manager. We have Sarah Freilich and Jada Marriott, both returning staff. Sarah is kind of leads the ship on operations, staffing, and training, lifeguards, everything. It's nice to have both of them back. I can tell you that both of them have, I can't find anybody else that has more passion for aquatics than both of them. So it's great to have them on the team. Our shared goal is to create a positive and a supportive environment where families can have fun, stay active, and feel confident in the care and safety provided every day. Here are some staffing numbers. We have 2025 actuals and then our 2026 goals. As you can see, just a slight increase from year to year. That's just for coverage. So we have plenty of staff. And then lifeguards and little bit of an increase as well for this 2026 year. Our continuation successes from last year are amplified Labor Day weekend staff, comprehensive lifeguard training, strong retention for private lesson participants, an updated website for pool schedule formatting, and sensory swim dates added for this summer. Sarah went to a national aquatics conference in Colorado, and one of the big topics was sensory swim. So it's something that we've added this year. That would be good.
Can you say, what does that mean?
Yeah, it's just inclusional swims. Sarah can talk more about that.
Sure. So it's called Sensory Swim. It's geared more towards the community with NSSRA in partnership with them. So it is not geared as to be an open swim or an adult lap swim time. The slides will be off, the play structures will be off, there won't be any music going on. The lifeguards won't be using their whistles, anything like that. We'll have some extra staff there to provide support for anyone who's a runner and stuff like that. So really gearing and focusing on that for all part of the vision statement where and putting that into practice and saying being a for all pool, because aquatic environments are favorited by a lot of the neurodivergent community because it provides neurostatic pressure on them, and so it makes things kind of slow down and they enjoy the water. So being able to provide this at a time that would be an afternoon of swimming as opposed to an early morning or a late night or just plugging it in. I've talked with NSSRA and they're very excited and really grateful for it. So I'm hoping that there's a really good attendance rate and people take advantage of it.
And this will be closed to just that group that's coming, that will like one afternoon, whatever.
Correct.
Beyond the schedule and broadcast and
Yeah, so it's from on the days that there is the holiday schedule for public swim, which is from 1 to 6 o'clock. This schedule will be from 10:30 to 12:30 so that they can come in and just be there. And it's not meant to, you have to make a reservation or they have to reply or register for it. Because I truly do want it to be a public swim platform,
Right.
but for this specific community.
no, that's wonderful. Thanks.
Yeah.
Mike, before you move on, can you just talk, I know you said that the reason for the increase is covered, but it is quite a big increase in terms of the total number of staff and lifeguards.
Yeah, it's just to have backups for prepared if So we're not adding positions, it's more adding that there's staff to fill positions that are available.
I did last year, you find that we had an issue, you're responding to something or an assessment of last year, something changed.
Last year would have been helpful for this year, but that's why. the increase.
So, they were talking about having on-call, well, that was more in terms, I guess, the on-call, is that something similar that you're having staff work, like on-call if there's a particularly busy day or, so is that part of what?
Correct. And on a normal day, we still have our normal positions. This is just to have a pool of staff for extra to fill positions, not just.
That's fine.
So you probably have a similar number of slots.
Yes.
More people.
Yes, more people to fill it, so we don't get caught into a jam of, uh-oh. And the last thing we want to do is have to have some of the other pools closing because of coverage. We make sure that that's not an issue.
We get stretched thin on Country Thunder weekend, Lollapalooza, like we have to account for all of that stuff. And then,
City.
right, anything, right? And then into the season, attrition, like people start to go back to school.
Right.
And we hate to see pool operational hours affected just because we just didn't have enough staff to start the seasons.
We're gonna note it's about 6:44. Mike Murdoch has joined. Commissioner Michael Murdoch has joined our meeting.
Thank you. Did we see a bunch of lifeguards training at Michigan Shores this week? Is that
You did, yes. Those were beach lifeguards.
Gotcha. Just, so we've got an in at Michigan Shores these days because we have a new board member. It's double. Congratulations, Julie. Oh, yes.
For 26, we have our new website schedule. It's just been released, it's still being tweaked a little bit. I can say early comments have been positive. A couple questions I took today over the phone that it's new, and sometimes they just have a couple of questions just to kind of get a better feel for it. But you can click on all pools, the lap lanes 1 through 4, lap lanes 5 through 8, and on the week you're on, it'll show you the spots. So some early questions on how to get to that, or how to get, can I use it on an iPad or a phone? And after a quick conversation with them, they're pleasantly surprised with the change. So that'll be something.
And is Nutrier the Nutrier Aquatics Club, not the high school?
The Nutrier Aquatics Club.
Yes.
Yes.
Correct, yes.
Well, okay, this is just, I mean, I noticed this. Does this present any problems for people who are working and who need to get?
Well, this is just an example of week June 7th through
Yeah.
June 13th. I just used this one as a slide presentation, but each week is
Is good, okay.
different. Yeah. This one just showed the most items so I could show it.
You're concerned about 7 a.m. lap swim, or what is your?
Well, that, you know, people who are often on the 7 o'clock train kind of need to be, if they reach the lot, they kind of need to be there at 5:30 and just, you know, making sure, you know, the nature is not taking up all the lanes.
What's also nice is when you click on, let's say that new trigger on Monday, the 8th, that comes up a big box and then shows you the lanes that they're using and then other lanes for lap swimmers. Same thing with the Publix one. When you click on that, it will show you that there'll be lanes available.
So are you saying that at a certain time in that box before 9:40, before 7 a.m. lap swim, if they click on either the orange or the red Nutrier, that it'll say, oh, there's 2 lanes available for lap swimming.
Yeah, it'll show the
Or 0 lanes available for lap swimming.
Well,
So there may be lap swimming available prior to 7 a.m. on weekdays. That was kind of where I think Cecilia was going with that.
Yeah, so, because it's not clear from there that there's, you know, someone looks at it and they want to do another lap swim, but the same Nutrier is there. I don't think they would realize to click to that they could see. I mean, maybe explain somewhere else, but it, you know, just from this, looking at it, you know, I can't click on it to see that there's a couple of lanes available, but they still would be able to do lap swim. That's maybe something to think about.
No, makes sense. We're gonna pass it on. Some aquatic contract updates. The new True Aquatics contract is pending. It's been verbally agreed to. It's just some last minute legal approval on that. You'll see here that their rate partnership with 1,139 hours of usage. That's reduced by 381 hours versus last year. So there's less time for them for.
And I know there were concerns about that and having access, but what's the revenue of that change? Do you know offhand, or can you get it to us?
Yeah, that's something.
Thank you, I appreciate it.
I believe it's slightly more, Dave, and it'll be in the contract. The fee increased. So it offset the amount of hours, reduced hours. We're still getting slightly more, even though the fee is set to increase.
And so then the contract, just as a reminder, is based on estimated use, and Sarah just like reviews their use each month and then bills them accordingly for use based on weather and those sorts of things.
Yeah.
But yeah, the revenue for that particular contract is slated to be slightly higher than what they paid last year, but again,
Fewer hours, great, and it may depend on weather, et cetera. Yes, got it. Thank you.
Shark Shack Concessions has renewed an agreement for this season. It's just for this season. We're gonna use it kind of as a trial summer. We've been getting a lot of interest from on the rink side for concessions. Companies are very interested on the rink side, and a couple of those vendors are interested in the pool as well. So after this season, it'll be good to kind of get the total interest for it and then do a regular RFP for that moving forward.
So you're thinking that one vendor does both? So like an annual lease?
There
Or
has been some interest in that.
yeah, all right,
First
that's nice.
conversations with the ICE.
That's nice.
In the past, there was the same budget during both the pool and the ice rink. Implemented, we're doing
I
that.
can tell you now that the Shark Sam and the Shark Shack concessions, they had some verbal interest to the ice center, but it's kind of lukewarm. Once kind of let them know that there's some generate some other interest to it, it's kind of sparked force.
And I'm saying I'm glad to see the birthday party rentals, because I had birthday party for my son when he was young, and it was an awesome experience. So, and then it seemed like they disappeared, and it's really nice. It's a really great opportunity for people, summer birthdays.
Yeah, no, that's great. We had about 9 last year, but we have a schedule outlined, ready to go, and we went live a couple weeks ago, and it's been pretty hectic with people inquiries on it. So we see that increasing for sure.
It's very nice. Is this little room that you can use too?
Yeah.
It's really nice.
Here's some annual and combo pass data as of May 11th. This is increased dramatically over the last couple of weeks. It's been so far a very strong May. Keep up with some good weather here, and we should be good. But as of today, we were over 900 annual pool passes. So this is just a little bit late from when I started.
So is that, like, that includes the combo or just the pool?
Pools that not crossed over 900 today.
Wow.
Also, combos have increased dramatically.
Yeah.
Well, since May 11th. Now, our early bird discount ends obviously this May 22nd. So anything that's sold after the 22nd will have a price increase. If you look at the trends from sales, I would say January, February, March, April, and May are all tracking above last year. The big differential is December. In previous years, December's kind of got hit with a really big influx of past sales. It wasn't quite as big this year, so we're kind of playing catch up each month. As long as the weather gets good, I think May will be really strong. So that's great.
Commissioner Leahy, you see 650.
We call that a shark graph. So this is spike
yeah,
early season, and this is leading up to Memorial Day weekend, and then they drop off.
yeah.
But shaped like shark.
Yeah, definitely. It's gonna be fun.
Can you say that a little louder? What would?
Sorry, so you can maybe not, you'll see it from here, but our graph, when we track this data shaped like, we call it the shark graph because it spikes with the tail, at Cyber Monday, it goes then up to the dorsal fin at Labor or Memorial Day weekend, and then kind of tails off as the season goes on. But like, as Mike said, things are trending a little higher right now, and then, or than they have like over the last few months, but then we're spiking again. So it's a hot sales period now between now and midnight on Friday.
I know at our last board, Brandy shared kind of some of the updates, and I think one of the updates that is going to be happening is new cards for community members to the pool and beach, I think.
Okay.
Is that right?
Yes.
That's right. And so is the plan that if anybody comes in, as they come in, they'll get their card updated, or is that optional?
I don't know where we're producing those. I don't know if we can produce those at the pool, or what, I'd have to check with JP to see how the implementation of when those are gonna be given out. People have to pick them up, they're gonna be mailed. I'm not sure what the implementation of that is.
Okay.
But we can certainly find out.
And then passes will work.
Well,
Past passes.
yes, of course, right,
And
yeah.
then if they need a new one, it'll be the new brand.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
We struggled with getting, like, people would show, they would take their picture with their family, 15 years ago, and they're showing their picture of their kid shows up and they're an infant and now they're in high school. And so it's trying to keep people updated with their information. So photos are accurate and all that stuff. So it's a little bit of a process, but it's a worthwhile undertaking.
And residency is one of the things that Jamie mentioned too.
For sure.
To continue on, some of our maintenance projects, the preseason, this spring, it's incredibly busy. Josh, his West Park team is extremely busy. One of the new things is our new chlorine tank provider, acquired this spring at a reduced expense. And they provide us the tanks, which is eliminating the rental fees. So unfortunately, some savings compared to last year. They also added new flow meters were installed, 8 new butterfly valves, and 2 new pumps were installed. We also had a new slide mats were installed in the activity pool as well. Maintenance projects projected for postseason. Obviously, the regular winterization maintenance began, and then a couple of the big project is really the comprehensive slides, as in the diving pool and the activity pool, will be repaired, sanded, and resurfaced. That'll be a very big project.
And what's the expected life after that then approximately?
That's a good question.
It's usually about 8 years or so. And it's not, the whole slide won't have to be redone. It's just, again, sanding the seams and resealing the seams and making sure that the bolts and everything stay tight. And it's a smooth ride.
Yeah, so it kind of lines up with the liners. So then at that point, we'll kind of figure out what's what. Okay, thank you.
The pools have been filled and the mechanicals are in great shape due to the tireless effort of our West Park team. We're looking forward to a successful and safe 2006 season. And just wanted to give a special shout out to the West Park team. They've been extremely busy all spring. It's not a huge staff. There's one person missing here, and that's Jack, our electrician. But as you can see, it's about 6 people. So they work a tremendous amount of work in a short amount of time, especially in the preseason getting ready. So.
Yeah, Nancy's the rock star on the front right. We gave a shout out last time, really taking over with Matt moving on, and getting the pools up early, and not to mention all the work that they did in-house, replacing pumps and, some of the pressure gauges and things like that. They did that all in-house. She's trying to help give some of that knowledge to some of our other facility staff. But that's it. Like, this is a facility team. Something breaks, something has to be painted, something has to be cleaned or fixed. That's the team, and that's the same team that is, when we get to winterization, they have to winterize everything. Everything where there's water outside, water fountains, the beach house, everything goes through that squad, and we're really lucky to have them. And I think they really did a great job this year. Even that tank, the chemical tank, saving money, I remember Nancy when I was leaving the shop one day, and she was all fired up about the increase in price of chemicals. She's like, well, I'm gonna shop them out. And sure enough, she found a better deal. And not only a better deal on the chemicals, but having the tanks that we used to have to rent, getting those as part of that deal. So it was really, really great to see.
Awesome. And just last slide, we received this nice email in March from a resident just saying, looking forward to another season of outdoor lap swimming as it's currently run, the Denver Park there. It's nice to hear that, and obviously our entire team here, our goal is to see a lot more of these this year. Things to come.
Mike, thank you. Any questions for Mike or Sarah? From the board?
Yeah, very good presentation.
Nice work. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, then we'll move on to point 3, the tree management. Please.
Sure. So as part of the Morton Arboretum grant that we were awarded, which included
Make comment, like, I didn't know about this grant. I mean, I would have said that the grant would have had, unless, and then I may have totally missed it, or maybe I did see it, but I don't know, what's that?
Yes, so we got a Morton Arboretum grant. We received that last year. The Morton Arboretum grant consisted of, we had to plant 93 trees throughout the district. We had to remove 7 invasive species trees, and part of that, we had to implement or create a tree preservation policy and get that approved and passed by the board. So now we're at that point where we've removed the invasives. We've planted 93 trees, and then we're going to just open this up for discussion for the tree policy that we do need to bring forward. And we're looking at that next month's meeting. Another part of it you'll see in the laid out in the memo is just some really great information about, you know, the benefit of our trees. We have 3,500, roughly 3,600, close, 3,600 trees in our system, and also part of it moving forward is that we'll have a full inventory of those trees, which will be a GIS based inventory that will be established. That's going to be this?
So we already have the GIS in place. All of our tree inventory is made. Next year, we will be doing the official update, and that is when Great Lakes will come through and they'll survey our parks and go through everything. And then from there, I'm the parks planner. So me, myself, and my horticulturalist will be able to keep up with updating the inventory and keeping all that moving, along with the policy and the future management.
Do we have a copy of the policy?
You said next month, we're gonna get it.
Yeah, so we had Morton Arboretum is through who this is through.
Right.
And it was the policy that they wanted us to use as part of the grant is built for a municipality, not for a park district. So it would have just been confusing at that point. But really it's going to give us protection.
Of course, it's the last line in the packet.
Yeah, it'll give us protections. The main intent is, one, how we're going to manage our urban forest, and also how, what we'll do, you know, to make sure there's protections in place for our urban forest. Say, you know, a neighbor cuts down one of our trees, or, you know, tells us we need to plant this because it's, you know, a really neat tree, and we can say, well, this, you know, it'll set the guidelines on what we will plant, right? Native trees to the area, as opposed to an invasive species that could be a problem. And then and also we'll have a diversity in species. You know, that's a big strong push in urban forestries because of, you know, Dutch elm disease. We see how that decimated the urban forests in a lot of municipalities around here. So having a diversity in species actually helps with, you know, pathogens and pests and things like that.
It'll also, with our memorial trees, that same list of trees will be utilized for that. One thing I did want to hit on too, this grant, we're going to net $20,000. We did provide some matching funds of $30,932. So we will get $20,000 once this grant is fully complete.
Yeah, can you talk a little bit more about how the grant, what the grant amount was and how it was structured?
So,
and by the way, Anna Murray, right?
Anna Murray, yes,
Anna
parks
Murray.
planner.
Parks planner.
So the grant, it was,
20.
it was,
Right.
yeah, it was roughly 50,000. When we applied for it in late 2024, my predecessor applied for it. I think that's why you haven't heard much about it. I think it started to get really big during the transition and rollover of different staff. So essentially the grant was a $50,000 in-kind match. We pay 30,000. However, they give us back 20,000 after we complete the planting of 90, however many trees, the policy, and then the removal of the 7 invasive Calgary pear trees. We should have that. Everything will be finalized towards the middle of summer. So that's whenever we should see that reimbursement. But it's been a really great grant to have. We've been able to expand our inventory, of course, and we've been able to add on to the different species list. And it's also allowed us to get a concrete amount of species that we can use, how to keep it diverse, how to keep our trees from, becoming diseased and dying, and the processes that we go through to ensure that those needs are met. And it also has helped us lay out the procedures on how we deal with construction around trees, our neighbors, and what they do with our trees, and diseased and dying trees, and how we take care of those. And if at any point we're ever asked, how do you do that, I can just hand you this document with a bow and we're good.
Will you are there any significant trees that can be, part of the search to, I guess I'm thinking of more like publicity, because I'm remembering when my kids were in preschool, go to Gilson and we put the tree in one of them, they'd all hold hands around one of the big trees. And, I don't know if there are any, any other like significant trees that are older that or having any more. I think I remember in Sheridan Avenue too, there was one of the direction trees, one of the trees had been bent over by Native Americans and then stayed that way, that you had that. I thought, it would be kind of cool to if you can highlight some of those trees.
Okay. I'll take that note. Thank you.
I had a couple of questions. The Calgary pear trees, I'm curious, where were they? Were they trees that we had planted previously, or they just sort of grew up?
So Calgary pears, the history of Calgary pears, people really loved them. Turns out they were awful. So it's just kind of something, it's just trees that have been in our parks for a while. And yeah, and the whole point of the grant was to remove that specific invasive species.
And then with the grant, by the way, any grant is great. I'm just a little confused about the numbers. I heard 50,000, I heard 30, I heard 20.
So
I heard in-kind, I heard reimbursement. Can you just explain it a little bit better to me?
So altogether, it was our $30,932, $30,932, and the 20,000 from Wharton. That was the combo of 40.
Got it.
Something. That's why I said 50, just to round up when the grant is
20 provided.
But we have to start both.
spend that to get the 20,000.
That's fantastic.
Yes.
Yeah.
It feels like really well spent.
Yeah, I have to agree.
And I think it'll be exciting for us to talk about it in June. It sounds like there'll be more to come. And when we look at the policy in June. Great, thank you. There was a public comment, I think, before 2 commissioners came in about celebrating this and how do we make the public aware of it. And I'm sure the marketing team would be happy to think about that. Maybe they already have.
We did have a little thing during, we partnered with the village on Arbor Day, gave away trees, and we talked about the policy and our plan and the grant, and
It's great.
Yeah.
Thank you. Wonderful. I think anything else on trees? Yes,
Oh,
we have
yes, of course.
6.0.
I would like to move to adjourn to closed session for the discussion of the purchase or lease of real property for the use of the park district, including meetings held for the purpose of discussing whether particular parcel should be acquired, as well as the setting of the price for sale or lease of property owned by the public body in accordance with sections 2C5 and 2C6 of the Open Meetings Act.
I'll second.
Thank you. All in favor? Aye. Move to closed session. Thank you.